Hello one and all, and welcome to the League of Europe Division 2 Championship. We're here for round 14 of the series, and we are gathered today at Marina Bay in Singapore for probably one of the most difficult and longest races on the Formula 1 calendar. We are going to prepare for this full grid of 20 drivers to tackle this street circuit. I'm KV Artak, and I am joined, as per usual, with QPR Verstappen.
Hello and welcome. And yes, I'm here once again. And yeah, Singapore, of course, in the night on the straight lights here. Yeah, as you mentioned, a really long race. Usually, without any safety cars, wet weather or whatsoever, you're already gonna get over the 50 minutes easily. So. Quite a mention. And I'm surprised because Derek Donegan is not the first one out.
I was gonna say, like, we can't do the extension of our intro now because Gary's not.
It's Oysen and McCrew the first ones out. So
God's sake, Gary. Right. So this is going to be an interesting quality session because typically. Preferred strategy here is, well, fastest strategy is usually medium to hard, in the race. But of course, if you want to get track position at a track where it's hard to overtake at, you can always grapple for the soft tyres, try and qualify high up. And it seems there's already a few drivers that are on those tyres here. One of them in particular has caught my eye.
Yeah, it's the Red Bull driver Cookie Games, and he's going out in the softs.
I don't know if he's setting a banker lap or if he's actually committed to this, because really, it's not the kind of thing you'd expect a championship contender to do. When you think about it.
It's quite a risk, but maybe he's gonna try and do something this time out.
Because obviously the last few races haven't exactly served him well. You've got the standings up. I know I think he's in excess of 40 points behind now in the standings. So
yeah. 38, 38, to be correct. That's Oysen who's now on the lap. And he is coming through Sector 1 and down onto the Raffles Boulevard. So into turn 6 on the straight here, and then into turn 7, 26.6 as first sector time. Riding the curbs quite easily there. It's, you need to clip those curbs a lot around here. Coming into turn 8, a little lock up by the Williams driver. Down into turn 9, don't get too close to that wall. And hits it slightly there, but it comes away without damage.
He's backed off, I think.
Yeah, it looked like that. But I think his teammate might be on the lap, so...
Yep, LR McCrew still definitely pushing on his hot lap, so we will follow on with that one there as he comes through into the hairpin at turn 13, just clipping that curve on the inside. Now back on the throttle here in the Williams. These early laps on the hards probably not too significant, but of course maybe these drivers searching for every advantage that they can get over their rivals. They may just look to get a psychological edge by going quicker on these tyres there through the chicane at turns 16 and 17, and now underneath the bridge at 18 there. Got very dangerous corner. You don't want to run it into the wall. You're losing end plates very easy, of course, at this track there. Round turn 21, get up close to the wall there as close as you can, then into turn 22 and the little kink at 23 to the line. A 36.9 is a very good lap actually to open up the session there. Super Gamer is also on the board there, but McCrew setting the pace early on. That's a good lap, you know. Yeah,
that's really a good lap. I think that's gonna be top 5 pace around here at least. So Gary Donegan, championship contender, is a 37.5, so that's quite a bit of the pace. Nico being faster than him. Commentator's coming across the line, and there's Maledictus into P4. The other drives White Chihuahua into P5, and that's Killer Blue on the mediums at a 35.9.
I was waiting for a medium lap to come on the board there, and Killer Blue setting the pace as you'd expect there. But that lap from McCrew, that is huge, half a second quicker than anyone else for the moment on those tyres. And we'll see where some of the other big hitters land. I've seen Cookie just coming over the line now. He's done a 34.8, which was invalidated. That was invalid. So That's an interesting one. He might actually be pushing then, trying to set a time. But I'm going to go board with the guy that's got a good chance of taking pole position at this track, just based off the strategies running. That is Eloy Mark. Well, you know, in these tracks where the strategies in qualifying can be dubious, there's one man you can always expect to be running up near the front, and that is Mark. Typically on the soft tyres there, as we often see from him there. I'm seeing a little bit of understeer in his car coming through the third sector. We'll see there through turns at 22 and 23 to the line, and that is predictably fast. It's only by half a second though. It's a Killer Blue, dead set a very quick lap actually, but Mark, pole position for now. Let's see how the rest of them shape up.
Yeah, definitely. I think a few guys just not having set their laps. Just waiting on that. Maurice is one of them, so he's on the mediums currently.
Yeah,
so, let's see.
Yeah, keeping an eye on the Renault here now as he swoops through turn 8 there in third gear. You can take it in fourth if you want to get a bit more stability. Maurice opted to rotate the car there through the corner that used to be known as the Singapore Sling. Navigates that very nice and cleanly there up to fourth gear through turn 11, now down into the hairpin at 13. Corners come at you thick and fast. It is actually the track circuit with the most corners on the F1 calendar. There were 23. It's one that the commentators, we need to get a bit of a track map up here to keep in touch. But the Renault continues to power on this hot lap then, going through 17 there, fourth gear, trying not to run too wide as you will be getting a little bit of a taste of the wall then, under the bridge at 18, swoops it through 19, nice and clean there, no real dramas on this lap, using the curbs quite excessively. Turn 20, 21, I think he was a little bit of a tap on the wall then. He will continue on nevertheless round the final two corners, and he does cross the line, but I think those last few corners definitely costs him there, as he ends up in a 36.5 there, a little bit off the pace of the likes of Killer Blue.
Yeah, and it's just a bit quiet, but I think actually no one seems to be really on the lap. White for white might be. He's coming around into turn 14, that is down into 15 and 16 shortly. It's difficult, hard to actually keep the brakes in good condition there. So 17, then don't hit the wall to there, and in 18 and 19 coming under the bridge there, down to 20 and 21. You don't want to get too much oversteer, as we saw Maurice doing out of this corner. White leaves a bit of gap to the wall there, and now into the double left-hander on the last corner. He sets a 1:37.4 to set himself into P5.
Yeah, that's the second fastest hard tyre time, so pretty strong lap then from White by. I saw another car on the hards there. Dan, sorry.
Into
wow.
P4, fastest hard runner.
That's highly impressive there, because Dan, he's slipped out of the championship contention sort of in the last few races, and that's largely down to his qualifying pace, but that is very, very impressive then, going even quicker than that lap from McCrew then, and 6/10 faster than Gary Donegan.
Yeah, definitely. So, this is one of his strongest tracks, but he's never been really out of it, and that's what we see here. It's only 1 point behind Cookie Games, and he's still in this. I think, let's see, anyone is let's see, coming around the final corner, crossing the line in P14, 1:38 flat. And one of the Toros, I don't know who it is. I think that's Dylan starting his lap there.
Dylan's just starting his lap, yep. So we'll do a full lap on board with the Toros there. Hopefully it's clean enough then. Through turn 3 there, you want to really short shift, try and get the traction out of the corner there. Keeps it nice and smooth then. Through round turn 5, you got to really flirt with the barriers at this track there, really get the maximum out of the car there, and that's what a lot of people love about it. That's also what some people dislike from the circuit then. Nicely navigated through turn 7 there, Memorial corner, now into turn 8, it keeps it in second gear. You see Oyson pulls off to the side there, now into turn 8, heavy over the curb there, trying to rotate the car, and that is invalid indeed. So I think one of the other cars on his lap is ILRT Mattia, just caught going into the third sector, so let's see how he gets on.
Yeah, come for turn 17 in 4th gear, so he opts for stability for that corner. It's a second down under the stadium basically. In 19, 20 here in 2nd gear, he takes that double turn in, but he keeps it nice. and on the roads, take as much on the entry of the track you can take. And he sets his lap time, which is good for P6.
Yeah.
Only 2 tenths off Dan. So really good lap time from the RLT driver.
Yeah. So far, in contention with the top runners there, I still think we're waiting for a lot of the medium times to come in. So we're now firmly into the second half of this qualifying session. So if you're going to start seeing the guys that were on hards now opting for the mediums and trying to put down the best lap time that they possibly can do. Is anyone nearing the end of a lap?
Super Gamer is quite close. Let's see if Gary Donegan is on his lap. No, it's invalid. So Super Gamer will be the next one. He's coming through turn 20 right now, and 21 once again. Goes quite on the curb there, but not too much. Keeps it nice and clean, coming across the line, and he sets a 1:36.2, and that's basically in the middle of Killer Blue and Maurice there.
And not a bad lap at all from Super Gamer. I do expect the top drivers, you may be seeing even a couple of drivers stepping into the 34s potentially. I know also Paul could, like the top drivers like high 34s, low 35s potentially. We'll see what they can get out of that. That's going to be one thing we're going to have to keep an eye on. So I believe one driver that is on a lap on soft tyres is Killer Blue in the Ferrari. Of course, the two Ferraris heading up the grid as they often do in these sort of sessions where the medium tyre is typically the preferred race tyre. So we'll see how Killer gets on. He's 6 tenths up on his lap there, so at the moment he's looking at just pipping his teammate if he gets through this last sector cleanly. We'll see if he can keep this run up though. Nice and clean as well. Going through turn 17 and now down in a turn 18 there. Puts it into second gear. He's got Carmentos, I believe, just ahead of him. Hopefully he doesn't get interrupted too much by a Toro. So there through turn 21, a little bit on the curve there. Gets close to the wall and exit. Got to be careful not to get too much oversteer. Now flags it through. Set gear. Now on the exit, and he does a 34.8. That's pole position by a good margin, about 6 tenths clear of his teammate Eddie Marker. Marker's on a lap as well, so we'll see how these Ferraris shape up.
Yeah, McCrew just minorly improves this time, just going ahead of Dan. So
yeah.
Decent lap time once again from McCrew. McCrew and Dan showing good pace, Matty as well on that, so keep an eye out on them.
And I think indeed we will do then. So I think it's a little bit of a quieter point in the session right now.
Marcus
I think
might be on a lap.
Mark is on a lap, indeed. Let's keep an eye out as he goes through turn 16. Keeps it in third gear actually, no second gear. A little bit of a tap on the wall. Hopefully he gets away with that one. I do notice Mark's car does seem very understeery in general. So
that might be a bit of overheating issues, as that is a common problem we've been hearing. So and he heads into the pits.
Yeah.
I think he might have gone damaged from that. Just not a great lap.
Yeah, the tire temperatures, particularly in the race, are quite potent here and can cost you a lot of time. That's why the softs aren't considered too great in race trim, because they do overheat quite substantially then. Even the mediums, there is still some issues to be had with that compound of tyres. Of course, we don't know exactly what can shape up in terms of the weather. There's an infinite amount of possibilities there. Anything can happen in Grand Prix racing, and it usually does. So anyway, I'm trying to see, is anyone actually on a flying lap right now? It does seem very quiet out there.
It does look very quiet. Let's have a look if... I don't think anyone is really.
I
Maybe
think Dan has just started a lap, yep, so on board with the Dutchman then. Trying to hang on in that championship fight, and we know he's got pace out here. Let's see if he's able to deliver it in crunch time out now in this session. 3.5 minutes to go in qualifying. He's 3 tenths up through the first sector alone then, looking very good. Runs onto the outside curb, but it's still valid then according to the track map, so he can keep this progress up there in a turn 8. Just missing that curb on the inside, gets nice and close to the wall there, really flirting with these barriers as I mentioned. That's how you get the most pace out of it, all over the curb then, through the old Singapore sling then at turn 10, now through turn 11 and 12, keeps it nice and calm, goes into the first gear to get the extra rotation there, as a Tiro Limis would like to say, and I think he has actually, the track is going red, so he may have invalidated.
Yeah, it's invalidated.
He's still pushing.
I think around at turn 10, but yeah, he's still pushing.
Yeah.
impressed with that.
He has 9 tenths up on his lap then, so it is looking quite fast. And he's still got the ERS turned up then. I think this is quite peculiar then. Turn 18 now, and 19. I wonder if he hasn't invalidated. I'm not sure what's going on there then. But he's now going to glide it. Turn 21 and fourth gear, gets very, very close to the wall on exit there. He's really trying to maximise this racetrack then in Marina Bay. And he does do a 35.6. It was invalidated. And that would have been pretty solid there. We'd put him just behind Mark.
And I think that
softs.
might be done, because he's backing off and he's not getting back in time. That is quite a blow for the Mercedes driver.
Oh, he might have enough fuel to do another run though.
If he's got enough fuel, he might be able to get back in. But let's see. I think Nico's on the end of his laps, coming around the final 2 corners, and crosses the line in a 1:35.9, putting it up into 3rd place. And B Morgan just in mind, 36.1.
Yeah, these guys still have time to do another lap, only just. Of course, it's this point now where it really starts to get to the business end of the session, and we do have the vast majority of the field are on the mediums, but we do have Jekyll, Maurice, Super Gamer, and the 2 Ferraris.
Jekyll's in the pits though. I think he's like that at the session at some point.
Yeah, because he won't. I haven't seen that, but it looks like he won't actually be able to improve on that, which is
Maledictus is on the end of his lap.
Let's go with the Portuguese. A little bit of a tap on the wall then, but he has 1.3 seconds up. He really attacks the inside curve at the final 2 corners, and that's a pretty good lap there. 35.8, P3 for the time being. We're still waiting. Cookie Games is not set of time. Gary's still quite low down the order. These guys putting all their pressure on the final runs then. They've got to deliver when it really counts. Let's see what they're made of. They are just under a minute to go in this session.
And Dylan is one of the guys on the end of his lap. Cookie Games is having to go again, so Dylan is here crossing the line in a 1:36.3 up to P7 only. Dan's on his lap there, and I think that's one of the Haas drivers. That might be Daniel. It's coming across the line. Let's see where he comes out. P12 on 37.2. Just looking around. I think Gary Donegan is that. No, that's Nico going for another one. I think.
I don't think Killer Blue is going to make it onto his final lap. Current pole setter, but look, he's going to be very close. He's got 5 seconds to get to the line there. Round the final corner, 2 seconds. He just makes it. Wow. that reminded me of Fernando Alonso in Silverstone 2017. Wow, that was close.
Gary Donegan on the end of his lap, coming around the final corner. Let's see where he puts himself up. 1:35.2.
Good lap. Good lap. That is by far the fastest time on the medium tyres then. We'll wait and see how the rest respond.
Oysen coming across the line in a 1:35.9 into P5. Decent lap from the Williams driver. I think that's Rick on the end of his lap. And he's coming, but he's on an invalid one, so it doesn't really matter too much why he can't make it anymore. As the game sets it on the out lap, so. But he does move into P6, so that was the game.
Great.
Not being too great. Matty, let's see, he doesn't improve.
Oh, Cookie Games went in the wall there, got damaged there on his flying lap. He still can improve. Let's see, round the final corner there, he still just pips Gary. Look at how close that is. 100th of a second between the 2 championship contenders. Dan is a couple of tenths off. He goes P5 for the moment then. B Morgan is still out there. McCrew, where is he?
Coming across the line.
Where's he going?
1:35.4.
Just half a tenth clear of Dan. That's a good lap there from LR McCrew, and he will not overhaul Mark, but Mark is off on his lap then. B Morgan coming towards the line now. He's currently on a 36.1. He's just down his time by 100th of a second, but he does improve at the end, and he goes P7 in on track then. And there's a late improvement from Killer Blue, establishing the pole position, and it looks like it's going to stay that way. It looks like that will round off the session. Once again, the 2 championship contenders starting alongside each other on the grid there. Killer Blue, though, your pole setter on the soft tyres there. It's critical that he holds the lead at the start. Qualifying's over then, but that's not even half the battle.
And it's Cookie Games. He's only 11 thousandths of a second ahead of Gary. Those guys are so close. Mark came behind in P4. And then it's McCrew and Dan on the third row. B. Morgan and Maledictus behind that, and Oysen and Wiseboy closing out the top 10. Then it's Nico and Maurice on the 6th row. Kermenslist and Super Gamer. Dylan, Harry Noark, Matty, Daniel, Rick, and I don't think Jacob's in the session anymore, unfortunately. But that's still, those guys will have 3 tire choices from Nico onwards, of course. So let's see how this pans out. And of course the Ferrari starting on the softs, how's that going to play out?
Yeah, keep a very close eye and an eager eye on LOE Mark, because he's going to have the soft tires, better grip in those opening few laps compared to Cookie and Gary just ahead of him. Is he going to go on the attack? We're going to have to find out if he wants to back up his teammate at the front. Of course, I don't think Cookie and Gary are going to be focusing much on Mark, to be honest. But we'll see, because obviously Mark's not in the championship fight really as it stands. But, you know, Mark can still get in the way of that there, interrupt. That's going to be a very entertaining fixture on the opening few
teammates
laps.
As well, don't forget that, because Killer Blue is ahead. He'll be faster for the first couple laps, I reckon. But after 2-3 laps, Cookie and Gary will rapidly close in. That will probably be very feisty, I expect.
Yeah, because the soft tires, they don't go very long before they start overheating at this track. And that's going to put him under a lot of pressure then. We'll see if he how he's able to manage those tyres there. We'll also keep an eye on how the drivers outside the top 10 are going to go in terms of those tyres. Keller Blue leads them away, and I'll leave it to you then. Outside the top 10, what are they going for?
It's Nico, Super Gamer, Dylan, and Harry Noark all opting for the mediums to try and stay with the pack. But the guys who might be getting in the way of that might be Maurice and Carmenslus, as they're in between the few of the medium runners. So they have to stay with the pack on those hards. And then at the back we have Matty, Daniel, and Rick all opting for the hards. So those guys will be looking to go long and finish the race at a strong pace on maybe the softs or maybe the mediums. We'll have to see about that.
They can also potentially benefit for safety cars timed right, so keep an eye out on that as well. Can very quickly change the entire dynamic of this Singapore Grand Prix. At the moment though, Killer Blue is going to lead them away from the line then. Let's have a quick look at the chat. So we've got Hey from D4, Mike, yep, hope you're having a good time in that stream. Jake will not let me join back in, that's a massive shame, man. Because absolutely nothing you can do about that. Yeah, that's really unfortunate, man. And Mark with a very Mark-esque comment there during qualifying. Still over a second slower than me, Dosser. Oh, Mark, never change, man. Anyway, Killer Blue bringing them around. One of the longest tracks on the calendar by the actual length of the circuit, and of course 31 laps for the drivers to negotiate. This is a very exhausting race, highly technical, and a very long race time. So hopefully the drivers are able to stay focused all the way through it there, because that could be quite a challenge.
Yeah. And what I'm wondering about the two soft runners, the Ferraris, let's see what they're going to do with the strategy. Are they going to opt for a one-stop or for a two-stop?
For one stop would be highly, highly ambitious. Given
it's possible though.
It's possible,
but I think we're in the whole race, so let's see how this can play out.
Yeah, they might be able to snatch a bit of an undercut on the leaders. We're just going to have to wait and see, folks. But Keller Blue will bring them around it to the grid. Jake will saying good luck to the peeps in D2. Yep, we wish the drivers the best of luck from the comms box as well. The last of the drivers lining up then on the Marina Bay grid. Keller Blue once again on pole position. Cookie M's alongside him on the front row there. 3, 4, 5 lights. Away we go for the Singapore Grand Prix there. Keller's going to lead them off the line then. It's a good start from Mark there. He's going to challenge Gary. They're flanked by McCrew on the outside there. Off the racing point, going to go wide. And round goes Cookie. Cookie off at turn 1. Yet again. Another blow to his championship hopes there. He sits isolated at the back, but Mark takes second there. Great start from the Ferrari there. Further back, they're looking through then. Dan is just about able to fend off the charge of Watch for there. They run 5th and 6th there. McCrew's going to try and get up to the back of Gary Donegan there. Got a bit of a run towards the Memorial Corner. Gary goes defensive there. Dream start for the Ferraris. There is Oysen down in running wide and giving up that 7th place to B Morgan who sits in behind YHYY, but Cookie once again round and at the back of the field there as Nico's got damage down there as well. Then another terrible start for the Spaniard then, so that's 2 big headers down low and Cookie again going round. I don't exactly know what happened there, but that's another like sucker punch to his championship hopes.
Yeah, and the Ferrari's looking to be getting away a second to Gary is the gap already. It's going to be quite difficult to get past those guys for the racing point and the guys behind. So let's see how that pans out. We have a few drivers close at the back of the grid, but I don't think any move down into turn 16 will happen.
Well, Singapore, one of the most difficult circuits on the entire calendar to overtake. It might be second to Monaco in that regard, so don't expect an overtaking fest like you've seen at some other races. Do hopefully expect some exciting racing, because I wouldn't think you were going to get anything else from Division 2. But yeah, your 2 Ferraris breaking away early up at the front then, but how long can that last? How long can they keep those tyres on the island? Those questions will be answered in the next few minutes. Let's see how it pans out then. Gary will probably be quite happy with the starts unfolded then, leading medium runner. He's just got to keep it.
Carmen's List and Harry Noir going side by side into turn number 5. And I think Harry Noir gets through there. Yes, he does.
The hard runners will slip back in these early laps there. Dylan's going to run on his teammate there towards the Morgan Corner. Up ahead though, I saw Super Gamer was having a go, but down the inside goes Dylan, and he's past his teammate there, and Matty is going to follow through. He looks to the outside of turn 7, doesn't follow through with it though. And up ahead, Super Gamer was able to get past Eloy Marisa, who drops back. He's now got Harry Noir and Dylan on the mediums, chasing him down all the way. But McCrew does look very fast in these open few laps, I have to say. He's really giving Gary a hard time in that battle for P3.
Yeah, it does look like that, and he's pushing Gary through the corners almost. He's looking very pacey. And let's see if he can get past the racing point quite soon.
Hounding the back of the championship leader is LR McCrew. Can he find a way through at such a difficult track to overtake? We'll probably mention that quite a few times during this Grand Prix, but it most certainly is there. The gap's still over a second than Gary and Mark. Looks like the soft pace already just beginning to diminish there. They aren't sprinting away anymore. And probably in the next few laps you will see that gap begin to rubber band and come back towards this medium pack then, which is still headed up by Gary. Dan is keeping pace as well with these guys, so Gary not going massively quickly, but at the moment it doesn't really matter then. He's still your leading medium runner there, and still in a very good position in this Grand Prix, but he's got to be careful though, because he's still got some
into the pits.
I think
that's an early strategic call, I think.
I think it's a wise call, to be honest there, because it gets him out of the track.
Get out of the train.
Yeah. And now he's going on to hard, so he looks like he's going to try and take these all the way to the end of the race. Just as he tried at Monza before the safety car ruined any chances of pulling that off. But now, let's see if he's able to make progress there. Further down the field, Harry Noir gets down the inside of Eloy Marisa. Dylan may fall through. He's down the inside in a turn 8. Bit of contact between him there, and Maurice has just held that one and is able to get that, but the switchback comes through from Dylan. They make a bit of contact there, and round they go into the wall. Goes Maurice and Dylan. They spin in synchronization there. Dylan just catching the rear end.
Virtual safety car.
VSC.
And how's this gonna play out? Is anyone, perhaps one of the Ferraris, gonna try the pits early on?
Will it last for long enough for it to actually pay dividends though? It's a very long final sector.
That's true. We'll have to see about that. It can last long quite at times, but other times it might be just over. This Mark is going quite slowly under the VSC.
Yeah.
Compared to the other guys.
I wonder if he's trying to leave a gap if the Ferrari's plan on double stacking, but the double stacking is not very good on this game. What does Calablu do from the race lead? He stays out. What does Eloy Mark do from P2? Also, no pit stop from him. Will there be any gamblers as now that we get back to racing then on lap 4 of this race? DRS, of course, now active for all these drivers there was activated just on the last lap there, so that's going to keep the pressure on. And Dan looks like he's lost out a little bit through that period. He's going to maybe under pressure from YHYY, a very long train in this midfield. As now Gary Donegan honing in on Ellie Mark. If he gets a car between himself and McCrew, that could do wonders for his chances in this race. And I'm seeing a couple of pit stops there, Maurice and Dylan. That's no surprise. Of course, those guys suffering early damage. They will fall behind Cookie Games on his attempted comeback drive. Doesn't look like there's any moves going down into the Memorial Corner there. But now Mark beginning to drop down on the pace then. And now the medium riders climbing up onto the back of the Ferrari. How's this going to unfold?
McCrew still hounding the back of the racing points. Can he get past very soon? But Mark is up ahead, giving Gary basically the DRS then. So it's going to be tough for the Williams driver to actually make a move.
Oh, McCree's hit him! He's got damage!
Does he have damage? Yes, he does.
Yeah.
And that's going to... Yeah, that's really not going to help him there. He'll lose time.
I think you'll be seeing a Williams darting into the pits at the end of this lap then. We'll see how much it costs him. But yeah, there was definite, quite major contact with the rear end of Gary. That may take a little bit of pressure off of Gary Donegan. Now he's just got to focus on Mark. Just a little bit up the road there. McCrew's still keeping with, but you can see immediately there, you know, before he was all over Gary, you know, really hassling him. And let's see, what's the decision from the Williams driver? He's staying out. That's very interesting. He's trying to hold that DRS for as long as he can, I think. Mark, I saw the rear end of that Ferrari step out at turn 33. He's definitely going to be coming under more and more pressure then from the championship leader. The Irishman honing in then. He's got to try and time this move. He may get a better exit going through turn 5 then. They both take it very nicely there. There's a little bit of oversteer from Mark, but he still gets a decent enough exit there. Gary's going to have to reel him in down the straight then in overtake mode. Here he comes. Mark opens up the inside line, so that gap's going to be filled by Gary. He's down the inside, runs wide. Mark off the track, still wheel to wheel with Gary. They make a little bit of contact there going through turn 8. They've got to be careful then.
Someone routes, Oysen. And Maledictus, I think, have made contact. So
Gary oversteers, lost the place to McCrew. McCrew up in a P3 then, despite the damage. So Gary attacking Mark ends up losing out. Oysen round, and he's going to lose out there. Maybe a pit stop as well from him. He's definitely got damage as well.
Also, yeah, Maledictus has damage as well in the midfield, and that's going to really not help him. Oh,
Gary, Harry Noir had a little feint inside, but didn't go for the move on the Red Bull. Now it's McCrew's turn. He still doesn't have bad pace at this stage, despite the damage. He may not even fix it in the pit stops.
Getting past Maledictus there. Maledictus holding up this train a bit there. Carmental starts in his way through, looking like, but doesn't get past. And Mark is now really holding up the train here indeed.
Yeah, Mark backing him up then. That's giving Killer Blue a good bit of breathing space, and of course he may pit onto the hards. Don't rule Killer out of this. You know, he's had a good run of form after a pretty poor start to the season. There, he's had some very encouraging races, and of course the win last time out in Italy. So now McCrew has damage. Gary, to my knowledge, doesn't have damage. So now, how's Gary going to do it? But McCrew again trying to put a car between himself and the nearest contender. He's still in a good position there, so let's see it now. LR McCrew absolutely throwing Mark around the corner almost there, forcing the Ferrari through. Now he's going to have a run down the straight, then pulls the inside towards Memorial Corner. He has the line going into the turn, and I think he's going to clear him there. Mark right on the outside, runs wide. Gary's going to try and take advantage of that. Dan is up alongside him. Lunge from Mark. Oh, Gary in a turn 8, loses out, and now towards turn 9 now. Dan gets on the inside, but backs out of it on the brakes then, not committed enough to get through, and sets behind Mark for now in the Ferrari. The gap now 4.5 seconds from McCrew to Killer Blue. Now Gary has got a clear run at the wounded Williams car then, as Mark runs wide. So now this battle between McCrew and Gary can resume there. But Killer, with the car behind him with damage there, I'd say he's in a pretty good position out in front for now.
It does look like that. Yeah, McCrew, of course, having damage will hold up Gary a bit here. And I think Mark will hold up this train of Dan and YY. And Super Gamer having a good race as well into P7. So maybe he'll catch up to the back of this little train there.
I wonder how the Ferrari is going to approach these next few laps. They probably don't have much more life in them, particularly Mark's tires.
Yeah, Killer Blue is in.
Yep, so Killer Blue making the call Does Mark pit? Does he stay out there? He's thinking about it, and indeed he goes in. So Mark frees up Dan and YYY. They go through as Matty picks up a penalty. But now, does Dan have the pace to match McCrew up in front there with slight damage there? We'll see how that pans out. McCrew struggling slightly now, running a bit wide, going through turn 3 and through turn 4 and 5 now. Gary might fancy his chances. Let's see how that pans out. That DRS is going to be open there. He's got a lot of VRS to Gary there, so he might look for a move there. Going down towards Memorial Corner. The inside line is covered by McCrew. He's not giving this one up easily there. The lead going wheel to wheel now. Gary round the outside, gets forced a little bit wide, but now he's got the inside line. Down a turn 8. Can he complete the maneuver there? Force him into the wall goes McCrew. Contact between the race leaders there. Major damage for LR McCrew there. I'm not sure if it could be blamed for that. But McCrew into the wall, and that's going to free up Gary then, with Dan on the back of him there. Controversy on lap 7 here.
Yeah, it did look like Gary shot the brakes a bit, but I can't really see anyone being put on the blame for that. As Kildo has come out on the hards, he's about 10 seconds ahead of Quickie Games. Mark is on the mediums then, so he's going for a 2-stop. Kildo on the hards will be looking to end the race on those tires.
Yeah, and he's. Oh, I think McCrew. Yeah, McCrew's. Yeah. Oh, he's off. He's off completely. He's missed his braking point. That front wing damage, he is suffering greatly with that. He is gonna have to pit surely. And what was looking like a potential, even a race win, has now gone down the drain for him. He's gonna have to hope for a safety car, I think, at this point to get back in contention. But now up at the front, we have a three-way fight. B. Morgan pitting in very early actually, given that he's on. I mean, this is around about the window, but pitting on lap 7 does seem to be quite an early call then. But if he grabs an undercut, you never know. I think Killer Blue has done such a good job on those tyres now. He's going to be freed up, has great clean air, and he can really push then. Don't rule out Killer Blue.
Close. Yeah, definitely. Yes. B. Morgan now comes out of the pits. Let's see where he comes out, and Mark just passing by. Dan is close to gap to Gary. You need to keep an eye on that up ahead as well. B. Morgan is just behind Cookie Games a couple seconds, I think. 2 seconds that will be.
It's worth noting. Sorry.
Yeah, Gary now has Dan and White both on the back of him, so he'll be looking to up the pace a bit maybe.
It's worth noting that Eloy Mark has actually opted to go for medium tyres then, so he's surely committed to a 2-stop strategy in this race, and he's got to really push that and try and clear particularly this train led by Gary, because if he's in the middle of that when these guys pit, then that's going to put him at some disadvantage. He needs clear air, he needs to be able to push through. He may have had to stack slightly behind his teammate, which is going to cost him. Of course, he will be getting a solid undercut on these guys. What's the decision then? We have a lead trio at the moment there. Super Gamer and Harry Noir have not done badly to be within 3 seconds of that. But I reckon you'll see at least one pit stop from this top 3 in just a few seconds' time.
Let's see, Gary up to stay out, Dan's up to stay out, White Boys up to stay out. All the top 5 stay out, and the hard runner won't, of course, pit. So I don't think we'll see any pit stop this lap.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised Nico hasn't really opted to do anything really, because it's hard to say, but does he have damage on that?
Yeah, he does. Left end plates.
So I'm surprised he hasn't pitted at this point then, because he's stretching out quite a fair way. Now up ahead, Harry Noir has a run down the outside and now turns to the inside for turn 7 on Super Gamer. Completes the manoeuvre there. The Greek up to 4th on the road. Runs a little bit wide. May get a chance for the Alfa Romeo to come back down the outside. No, can't quite follow through. Matty as well.
Gets past Comenslis looking for the switchback, but I think Matty has the exit over him. Yes, he does, stays ahead and grabs P6.
Matty now the leading hard starter in this race. He's not that far away, all things considered. As I'm noticing there, YYY is beginning to struggle to keep pace with the top 2. He may think about a pit stop very soon as Rick picks up a penalty. Dan is still able to hold that DRS of Gary Donegan. That's an interesting one, but if these guys pit on the same lap, Dan's in a Mercedes, so he'll get the pit stop completed before Gary and possibly even hold him up. So we'll have a look and definitely keep a close eye on how that all unfolds then. because the pit stops could change the dynamic of these top two.
It could definitely do that. And let's see, anyone opting for the pit. Gary's
They're
into
both
pit. Dan follows him in. White staying out.
So let's see instead they come to fruition here. Gary just a few car lengths ahead. I tell you what, maybe you may see a change of net lead here. Because even when they come out, they will have to play onto Yellow Blue and even Mark potentially. Dan now emerges, and whereas Gary Donegan, now he's just ahead. So Gary maintaining that position there ahead of XCI Dan at just about. I think the
let's see where Marks comes out, because this could be quite interesting.
He's ahead of the both.
Yes, he is. That's he's really pushed on then, and Cookie Games is not far off this. Look at this, as he does pick up a time penalty, but he's a second behind Dan here, second and a bit. He's still within the shout of a decent result.
You do have to remember that he does have significantly older tyres than these guys though, so keeping pace with them is going to be difficult, but he still may look for a decent finish. Would be a good recovery drive. But Gary, now knowing he's made that pit stop and still in front of him, he knows that right now he's headed to further increase that championship advantage over Cookie Games. Dan on the other hand may actually, you said he's only 1 point behind, so he can actually move up to second place in the standings. But we're just seeing, at the moment, relentless consistency from Gary, always up at the front, no matter what happens. Well, Cookie's made some mistakes, had some bad luck as well, but there has been errors as well from the Red Bull, and Gary is just, that sort of playing into his hands, and at the moment, that just stable driving that he's able to put up week in, week out, may translate into a championship. It's still very early days, relatively speaking, to say so, but he is looking in such a good position now. By the end of this race, he could be 50 points clear.
And Harry and Mark is now into the pits. White still opting to stay out.
Wow.
That's quite impressive. Super Gamer also out, as Matty picked up a time penalty there. Let's see, Harry and Mark on the harness. Let's see where he emerges.
He was running, I think, about 3.5 seconds behind, like YHYY in that. So we'll see where he comes out. He'll probably be around about, I'd say B Morgan, maybe just slightly behind him. So have a look at that there. The Mercedes coming down the main straight now. He's just exited turn 23. Where's the Rhino? There he is. I think Morgan's got him covered though. We're on the outside of turn 1, and indeed he goes through. So Morgan gets that place on Harry Noir, and he may push on there with fresher tyres, try and chase down Cookie Games just up the road then.
Yeah, I'll definitely be trying that. Nico also in, and just emerging from the pits around Dylan and McCrew, I think. We'll be very close actually. Dylan just ahead, looks like McCrew is just ahead as well, so Nico down into P18. And Killable has now catched the back of Daniel, who started on the hards.
So now traffic for Killer Blue. He's got to try and keep the pace going though, keep it flowing, because at the moment he's got a good advantage, and he's just, even with the older tyres, if he's able to keep productive. Yeah, and he's going to pull right blocked in there. I don't think Daniel's going to find that one too hard. Danny inside goes Killer Blue into the third sector and ahead of the Haas then. I don't think he's going to respond to that one. So, Killer Blue into P6, and that's a good, efficient overtake from him then. His gap to Gary Donegan.
It's going to be in the pits.
His gap to Gary Donegan there, Killer Blue, it's about 7 seconds. Gary will look to try and chase that down, but Killer may even look for a second win in succession. We'll have to wait and see there. May pull off the soft hard strategy. He may have had it down to a T there. YHYY is gonna just about get out in front of Super Gamer. Only barely. So he will probably come out. Where is he going to be relative to Cookie Games actually? I think that's a good question to ask here. With the undercut, Cookie is going to clear him actually very easily.
Yeah, YHYY might be dropping behind B Morgan. Yes, he
is. Yeah,
right in between B Morgan and Harry Noir. So
I'm surprised that undercut has cost YHYY quite dearly. But now with fresher tyres, he's got to try and get himself back in. This is a penalty for Maledictus. Up at the front, the battle between the hard starters still rages on there. Matty and Car Rentals, these guys so evenly matched in these early laps. And of course we're nearing the halfway point in the race. Expect still quite a lot more laps. They'll probably be pitting around about, I'd say lap 19 is probably when you'd expect to see these guys finally biting the bullet and coming in. And we'll see where they emerge, because at the end of the race those guys will be flying on softer tyres.
That will definitely be true. The gaps in the midfield. As there's a
Oh,
McCruz
McCruz.
and it's a safety car.
Oh, full safety car. That is huge. That is absolutely
We're-
massive for the front runners.
Yeah, McCruz is fighting with Nico and Dylan, so perhaps something has happened there.
The thing
Yeah.
is, the thing is, it's quite.
Are you gonna try to bid?
It's awkward. It's an awkward time in the race because can the mediums do nearly 20 laps?
One person who I expect to bid as well is Mark. So let's see.
Yeah.
Matty in, Carmentos is in, and let's see if any of the hard runs are gonna opt the pits. Try something. Top 3 in. Killable stays out. Daniel's in. Mark stays out.
Interesting.
Gary, Dan staying out. Cookie Games staying out. Yeah, it looks like these guys are all staying out, but this rules Carmentos and Matty right in the late battle basically. They'll still be on fresh mediums.
They are going to fall behind the front runners, to be fair. And now it's going to be difficult for them to make it work. Let's see. I actually expect them to be a bit further up. They're going to emerge, I think, when they will stay as it is. So they will be setting 8th, 9th and 11th for Rick. But of course now, they have the tyre advantage, at least early on after the restart. They have to make the most of it right now. Or otherwise, you know, it could fall away at the end of the race. Mediums, for that amount of distance, that's gonna get the tyres some beating, I tell you there. If they can manage that, hats off to them.
I think on tire wear it should be fine, but they'll drop off in lap times at the end, so
Yeah.
expect those hard runners to come back right at the end, but they have to make it work right now. Matty, Carmentos, Rick, those guys all have to try. And funny enough, Harry Noark, he was on the hard, he was on the medium hard
wow.
side, he has opted to pit for the mediums. So he's taking a gamble here.
That is a he was running in a pretty decent position as well. Well inside the top 10, so
He was right there with B. Morgan and White White as McCrew has left the session now. As of course, with that retirement, he'll not be happy. Second one in a row, so.
Yeah. I am very surprised that Mark hasn't pitted, to be honest. Because surely.
That could be playing. Actually, considering Kill Blues in the lead, I'm not surprised.
The Ferrari team synergy is just on point, isn't it?
It quite is, honestly. And Cookie Game's now right back in it, behind his championship rivals. He'll be on all the tires, but he's now right on the back of him. So let's see how he can go on.
Well, let's see. He does have the worst tires in the entire field. And with the field bunched up, that will hurt him. As I see Dan, little bit of a feint to the inside. I was just wondering. Although I don't imagine he'd give up this sort of track position at a track like Singapore. I don't know, because Oyson's disconnected car. I'm not sure if it's going to wait for it to catch up to the leaders. Hopefully it doesn't.
I doubt that.
So hopefully we get back to racing on lap 14 of the Singapore Grand Prix. Have you been enjoying it so far? It's been quite a lot of action here involving Mark, unsurprisingly. And probably been more to come as well. He's just got cars behind him on fresher tyres, hunting him down every step of the way. But Killer Blue, don't remember, he had a 7-second lead over Gary Donegan, and that's been all but wiped out. So Mark may have to try and do his teammate a favour. Let's see what role he plays. Does he try and stick with him? Does he back them up? Because Gary now has more of a chance than ever of taking a race win here, but he's got to try and clear Mark as quickly as he can.
He does have to do that, and if he doesn't really get past Mark, who knows? Dan, Cookie, B. Morgan, they're all inside the range there to benefit from that all. So yeah, it's going to be quite interesting, and still Matty and Carmentos, who knows what they can do.
Intriguing stuff then, as we near the halfway point. What else did you get from D2? You get, even at a track where it's difficult to overtake, you're getting a real convergence of all the strategies here. We'll see how that all shapes up. But yeah, in total we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars on fresh medium tyres then. They will firmly be the fastest cars in the field for a decent stretch of time actually. The mediums have decent durability.
Yeah, what I'm now wondering, and just popped up in my mind. Is Mark gonna try to get
No
him to the
way,
end?
no way.
If
that would
happens,
be.
he is on this, but of course his safety car laps do help him. But
They do.
it is a Mark thing to try it. So let's see how that pans out, and I think the safety car will go on for one more lap. So
yeah, so it is waiting for Oysen, which is a bit of a shame, but yeah, that's an interest. I actually considered that a little bit earlier. I thought surely not. These mediums can't go the distance, but if Mark is able to pull that off and he gets a great result out of it, then you just got to tip your hat to the guy. But that can really interrupt this fight. But Cookie Games has a 7-lap disadvantage on the two cars ahead, and we know it, at the very least he's only slightly quicker if at all. So it's going to be a struggle for him to stay afloat really, and Gary has a chance of pulling more points on him. But now, of course, on the other hand, Cookie now having a run at him on track, Gary can't really afford to make a mistake now, because otherwise he's going to be dropping points, because both of the guys that are still in contention for this championship sitting right on his rear wing as we prepare for the restart.
yeah, it's going to be quite interesting how the Ferraris play this out. And further down, yeah, it's just a few guys like Harry Noir, who knows they can benefit from maybe some battles up ahead. Whatever is going to go on, because we're not even halfway through, and it's already been a very intriguing race, strategy-wise.
Yeah, I do look forward to seeing if Harry Noir's strategy call is going to pay dividends, or if it's going to cost him, because it does seem quite risky. He's giving up a good 6 or 7 places at a track where it's very difficult to overtake. I say it for about the 5,000th time, but it's just true. So he's going to have to make the most of it there and get some overtakes done, and a lot of cars just in front of him have similar or the same tyres. I saw that. I saw that he ran barely off track on the entrance to the hairpin and got. Oh, that can get removed surely.
But the safety car is going to be in this lap. And this is going to be interesting. How is Killblue, and where is he going to go? Because there's so many places where you can go. Look at the third sector. It's just full of chicane. So
just look at the track map, everyone.
It can go really anywhere. So let's see. He's still slowing it down to 75 kilometers an hour currently. He has turned his engine up, so I expect him to go after the next chicane.
He's in third gear looking for traction. Look at the speed, 50 k's almost there, really backing them up there. Gotta be careful, these guys gotta be wary they don't come together. Keller goes, and Mark maybe deliberately setting off him a bit, and now, no, he's backed off again. And now he goes for good. Goes for good this time there. Playing with the minds of the drivers behind, but Killaboo 195 gets the Grand Prix back on the way then. Looking for a road there. Cookie Games has got a pretty decent restart there. Fence to the inside, no manoeuvre. In turn 1 then, White Traveler was off having a little look at the teammate of Dan, that's B. Morgan, running in 6th place at the moment there. Another penalty for Harry Noir there just on the restart then. But Killer Blue trying to stretch his legs out in front then. Can Mark hold on behind?
Look at White on the back of B. Morgan. Can he make a move down into turn number 7?
Carmentalist as well.
This is yellows. Maurice is off.
And he's going to recover
Rico
that.
and White, I think he made a mistake there, losing the place to Daniel. Nico looking
on the inside.
Well. And Harry Mark gets through there.
And Harry Mark made look for a double overtake because he's round the outside of turn 9. That's covered off by Rick. But he is on a charge very early. Of course, Rick, another driver on fresh mediums. Harry Mark feints to the inside. Doesn't go for anything too spectacular then. So let's keep an eye out on Matty then. And he just taps the back of Arch YY. I think he got the same from Carmentalist. Hopefully there's no significant damage down there. But now, this is what I'm talking about. The difficulty of getting past on the car, because Matty, right on March YY, we know he's going to be quicker at this stage, but especially in a DRS train, even with the fresher tyres and the softer tyres, getting this move done is going to be quite a difficult for our latte Matty.
Yeah, you're definitely right there. But it looks like Mark is still continuing with Killer Blue on that one. So let's see. Still seems to have a decent pace. He doesn't look like he's faster than his teammates.
Yeah.
As I think there's Daniel into the pits. He has wing damage, yeah, his right end plate is gone. Super Gamer and Carmentless as well. So I think that mess in the hairpin caused that a bit. But yeah, the top 8 is now gone. And Matty is the only one with the fresh mediums in this group.
So now he's going to look to try and take advantage of that there. He's right there, watch by what, coming off of turn 5 then. Now he's going to go to the outside as they go through the tunnel there. He picks the inside line down to Memorial Corner there. He has the optimal line into the corner, but Watch by What's not going to give up. Pinches the Alpha to the inside and holds on to 7th place just to fin then. So he is not giving this one up easily, because all of these guys are looking to go to the end of the race. So it's no surprise that they are dueling it out there. But Killer is your race leader for now, and he does look to be slightly quicker than Mark, and that does him a favour then. With the older tyres, you have to say he's getting great pace out of them, because Gary himself isn't really putting pressure on Mark then, and Killer is able to move
down
away.
The inside of Y into the hairpin.
Whoa! Watch for White again, holds on then, and again Matty will close down in a slipstream, and again he'll gamble for that inside line into the third sector, pinched into the apex once again by Watch for White. Then they're going wheel to wheel into the chicane. They're on the inside, those Matty, and he will complete it. Finally up into 7th, and that's the first overtake for LRT Matty there. He's got a bit of a gap ahead to try and work into then in this train. Cookie Games is still sticking with XCI Dan, so they may try to put pressure on the Dutchman up ahead of him as he taps the wall very slightly with his rear tyres. But up at the front, it's Killer Blue starting to just stretch his legs a little bit as there's a penalty for Rodell in there. But Killer, you have to say, on older tyres than most of the field around him, he's looking really good out there.
Look at Rick, he's sending the fast laps of the race, closing up to this train, together with Harry and Mark, had a bit of clean air there. So he's done that perfectly. Gary now under the back of LOE Mark. Is he going to try and move down into turn 7? He has the DRS, and he has the slipstream, closing up to the Ferrari. Mark defending the outside line. Gary breaking deep. Mark trying to switch back though. Around the outside, can he make this work?
Whoa. He's going to get squeezed towards the wall
and
and gets it, Mark. What a move from LOE Mark, and he fights back against Gary Donegan. I thought it was completed, but in turn 8 he perseveres and gets through LOE Mark. It looks like he may be going to the end of the race, you know, and look at the fight he's putting up then. That was an unbelievable racing.
Yeah, look at the ILT Matty, we saw it trying
last time as
he taps B Morgan. I think he's going to give B Morgan the position back there, but he might lose out to Brick. Nice. With Matty staying behind then for turn 14. And he's looking right on the back of the Mercedes. But in sector 3 it's so difficult to actually pull something off.
It's a single fail sector, yep. So yeah, I think Matty's going to sit behind. B Morgan's got to work and try and get in that DRS range of Cookie Games ahead of him there. That's going to help him keep the Alfa Romeo behind, the charging Alfa Romeo behind him then, as we're going to start lap 19 here in Marina Bay. There's yellows in sector 1 there, that's Maurice.
That's Maurice. Once again, he's not had a good race, and he's rounds once again.
So,
Gary, once again, close to the back of Mark.
I think it's about attempt 7 for the Grand Prix there. He gets right on the curve though at turn 3, and you've got to be careful there. That could very easily spit you out. We'll see what goes on then as we go through turn 5 there. Mark runs very wide, misses the apex completely there, and he's going to hold up Gary. So Gary losing momentum there. He's going to try and regain it with DRS and slips in there in overtake mode as well there. Mark defends the inside this time there. Gary may clear him into the braking zone. Mark can't quite get it back, and Gary, I think, may have just got this done. Let's hold our breath. Does Mark have any heroics in a turn 8 this time? Gary runs a bit wide, but I think he's got it finally, and now he can try and hunt down Killer Blue in the lead. Gary at last is clear of LOE Mark now, and now the rest of the hard runners are going to have to try and follow through.
And Matty has in the meantime made a move onto B Morgan, now up into P6 behind Cookie Games. And let's see, as B Morgan picked up a time penalty there. Let's see, how is Matty gonna take this on as he looks a bit. And he has a bad exit. It might B Morgan back into contention? I don't think so. So now move down into turn 14 in this whole train. It's a 9-car train, still from Gary. Mark's decently keeping up with us still, so that's well done from the Ferrari. Gary will now try to get back to and catch up to Killer Blue.
And of course, well, obviously, Mark able to stay in the DRS of Gary. That's going to really help his defence against XCI Dan then in these next few laps. Marky's still got it as of now, and of course he will get the added straight line speed as Maurice does pull into the pits. They're getting out of the way of the race leaders and does indeed retire from the Singapore Grand Prix. Then got yellows in sector 1. That's
yeah, that's Maurice. Yeah, Matty picking up a time penalty.
But he's right there. He's right there with Cookie Games though. Tries to get a better run through turn 5 there. Cookie gets through nicely. He's holding on pretty well as Cookie, you have to say, despite the tire disadvantages that he has then. Staying with XCI Dan.
Rick on the back of B Morgan. Danny inside has a bit of a look. Doesn't quite get it.
Oversteer. He saves the slide. And we remain static for the moment. We'll see if Gary is able to clear that there. He's caught hugely on Killer Blue. That gap's come down by about a second since he got the move done on Mark. So here comes Gary Donegan then, looking for the race win then, trying to hunt him down. And of course these guys have disputed several race victories, most notably in Monza last time out. And now it looks like they may do another where we've got about 11.5 laps till the checkered flag. Gary has 3 lap pressure tyres, looks like he's got better pace at this stage of the Grand Prix.
Danny inside of B Morgan down turn 14.
Oh.
Getting quite still side by side for turn 15 and now
There's
down
the
into
inside.
16. Let's see, Rick, is he getting through? Yes, he is.
Great
Rick
move from Rick. And now he's back in range of Matty then. Matty's struggling a little bit with progress then in this train that is now officially led by Mark because he's now out of the DRS of Gary Donegan in. So let's see if XCI Dan can take advantage of this then. Cookie sliding, what's going on there?
Massive oversteer out of
and he runs wide as well. Dan's got a run on Mark to the inside of the turn 1 and clears him easily down the straight then. So through goes Dan and runs a little bit deep through turn 1, but he will get it done there as Cookie gets very close. And I think, I'm not sure.
Matty.
He's got a run towards the outside of turn 5 then. Cookie just covers it off then, but Matty's got so much more grip, switches to the inside, and now it's a drag race. Alfa Romeo and Red Bull. Cookie gets a slightly better run, but the slipstream now with Matty there towards Memorial Corner there to the inside there on the brakes. He gets right up alongside there, they're wheel to wheel. Round the outside, Cookie, he may still hold this place, but later on the brakes, Matty, round the outside of turn 8, completes it. Matty up to P5 there. Cookie finally drops back then, and Matty now in with a shout of a podium here though with the pace he's showing there. Here he comes now, Mark the next car up the road.
Yeah, Mark won't be an easy one. But let's see, can this Alpha driver can he get through there? Gonna be quite a difficult task. But he's looking pacey, he's looking to be making the moves. As Cookie Games is now getting Rick behind him, so he'll be under pressure from that as well, I reckon.
Yeah, Rick the Finn. Of course, we've seen that he's been able to make good use. He started this, the safety car period down 11th. Now he's up by the 7th and hassling the championship contender Cookie Games there. Gary, his charge has been thwarted just a little bit. He's not catching Killer Blue quite as rapidly, but still that gap comes down. I think we could be treated to quite a duel at the end there, but now Alarty Matty honing in on LU Mark then. We are going to come over the line to start lap 22. This Grand Prix. Mark's a little bit wide. Through turn 22. And Matty closing, but not close enough there. But on the run down towards Memorial Corner there, I tell you what, he may have a run at the Ferrari. Let's see how that shapes up.
Yeah, Rick looking quite feisty as well on the back of Cookie, so might be two moves as Cookie has a bit of a slide again for turn 4 there. So let's see, Matty on the back as Matty has a big slide.
And here comes Rick.
Rick on the back of Cookie Games indeed. I think Cookie feints toward the inside, keeps the position there. Rick trying to switch back.
Say that
has a bit of momentum.
Oh, Cookie shuts the door very aggressively on the McLaren. And just about able to keep the 6th place, but that could have been quite nasty down there. Matty kind of ruining his own chance there, getting past Mark. He was right on the back of him there. In fact, Mark had a bit of oversteer through 4, so it put Matty right with him into 5. But of course, that mistake from Matty is going to set him back from his chances of trying to chase down the front 2. Gary is almost there on Killer Blue, but Dan is not out of things yet there. He is moving with Gary Donegan, and he has done for the whole race. So he could in the end.
Matty on the back of Mark, not close enough.
But this battle for the lead could get very tasty. Just a couple of laps time there. Gary slowly but surely Brainy and Colour Blue, and he is dragging XCI Dan with him there. He may get in the DRS even on this lap, then he's catching at such a rate. So Keller's going to have to be looking over his shoulder then.
Matty
he's in the wall!
Mark. And Cookie has damage as well. Mark, Matty and Cookie all damage, and it's a virtual safety car.
I think
and this will put a few drivers into the pits. Mark looking to be going for that. Yes, indeed. Cookie, I don't know if Rick has damage as well, as he's into the pits.
Oh, massive incident then.
Yeah, I think Matty was late on the brakes, hit Mark into the back and just bunched up. Harry and Mark into the pits as well. So, Good Games gets a 5-second time penalty for a severe collision, as the virtual safety car is now once again gone. And that's for most guys like Nico and Dylan into the top 10.
Yeah, the guys behind are gonna have to work cut out trying to chase down the gap. Let's see if they're able to do so though. So close battle on track here between Morgan and YHYY. Of course, YHYY is kind of, he was running with Gary and Dan for a little while then, and now he drops back just a little bit, struggling to make progress on slightly fresher tyres. But now the leading driver from that pack is still Rick, but now that's going to really set him back. He was looking like he may have a top 5 in this race, and he's got so much progress to make. The gap between Dylan and Super Gamer, for example, is huge. So we've got quite an isolated top 7 now, as Mark
gets past Matty on the straight. Easy move there for the Ferrari driver into P11.
I don't think Matty's fixed his wing. I'm just thinking.
Has Cookie. Because he ran away as well, so it's like, see, let's see, Matty, has he changed his wing? Left end plate was gone. No, it's not. It's still gone. So he's not prepared.
Oh man, that's so unfortunate for Matty, because he was making such great progress, and of course it's that incident. I didn't see it, so I'm not sure if it was triggered by Mark or Matty. I'm not sure what on earth went down there, but it's cost a multitude of drivers their chances in this race.
Yeah, it does look like that, but Gary's now within a second of Killer Blue. This could get very feisty, and don't go Dan out of as well. Looking to get a three-way fight for the win maybe. Dan can close that gap as well.
And look at Matty's dropped another 2 positions then, with still that wing damage then. So it's Daniel now in 12 who leads Cookie in that battle there for the final point at the moment there. And Cookie's going to get red blocks in through turn 21. They've got to be careful there. You don't want to go side by side into the last 2 corners. I think Cookie acknowledges that, holds back, but we've got to keep an eager eye on this top 2. And now Gary's being held up as Cookie does get the move done on Daniel down the straight, as Matty is out, but that's in the pit lane, so you won't see any sort of safety cars or anything of the sort.
Look at Rick on the back of Commentalist for P9 as Rick closes up and pulls alongside Danny aside, around the outside for the Memorial corner, and let's see, can he get past? Still side by side down into turn 8, but I think Rick has it.
Great
Yes,
move.
he does.
Yeah.
Good move from the McLaren driver there. And now Gary right on the back of Killer Blue. How is he going to take this? Is he going to take his course to leave, stay behind, or is he going to make the move and go for the race win?
There was a little bit of a knock on the wall there for Killer Blue. I think he got away with it without damage. I'm not exactly sure of the penalty situation now. I'm not actually sure if any of these guys actually had penalties at any point.
For the top 3.
Yep.
Killer Blue is just on 1 warning. Gary's on 2, so he's got to watch out. Dan has only got 1 warning. I think that was from the move onto Mark, as he ran wide there. But he's being really clean there. So Gary has got to watch out that he doesn't get another warning, as there's 7 laps remaining. And Gary's now on the back of Killer Blue, down towards the next way. But Killer Blue gets a really good exit. It's going to be tough for the Irishman to get through. Closes up, but is he close enough? Killer Blue defends the inside, and Gary stays behind.
Now is where
Dylan
it really
on the back of Nico still. But that's going to be towards turn 7.
Good defensive.
Dylan going to go for a move. Nico keeps ahead. Rick on the back of Super Gamer. A lot of moves now.
And does he get the run
Rick,
then? Out of turn 5.
It does look like that.
DRS open, he's got great closing speed to the outside of Rebels Boulevard. Now the inside into Memorial Corner there. Super Gamer is going to have to yield on the outside, I think. Rick, another move. A really good overtaking demonstration we're seeing from Rick then. And now up into 8th and making progress at this stage, but he's got such a big gap to Dylan and Nico up ahead. I don't think he's going to be able to make any sort of inroads.
It doesn't look like it's going to be Anyways, a few close battles still. Most importantly, Gary still on the back of Killer Blue. Can he get through in the next couple laps? 6 laps to go. And it's the Irishman on the back of the Ferrari. And Dan is close up as well, by the way.
Yep, they've all got DRS of each other now. As Gary, there he is! I saw him cut it! And Gary now with a penalty. That's going to put so much pressure on him now. So Dan and Killer may dispute this. Gary is going to have to furiously chase now. Try and get maybe a move done on Killer and get a 3-second gap. It's going to be a tall order for the Irishman. We know he's done it when against the odds this season, particularly at Belgium. Don't forget that race. But he has got a mountain decline now, and I don't think he's close enough to do anything relative to the Ferrari ahead of him there. He feints the inside, but there's no overtake, so Killer holds it, and the longer Gary sits behind him there, the more it favours the Ferrari of taking a risk win. He has the oldest tyres out of the 3, but he's making no mistakes. Brown goes Gary makes a mistake, and Dan promoted to P2. That's absolutely huge news, because Dan now has a clear run at Killer Blue 195. Gary makes the error, and now it's Killer isolated in front against Dan. And is this your fight for the race win? Let's see how this pans out. Dan now finally sitting behind him the whole race, as further back Mark past Carrentos, and Cookie tries to fall around the outside to make a bit of contact. Cookie up into 11th now behind Mark, but now Dan versus Killer. Is this your fight? Does Gary even have a chance now in this race?
Yeah, he'll probably still try to get past on track, but let's see, on penalties it's going to be a difficult one, of course. Let's see, Dan looking very quick, and maybe he can get a win, as Killer Blue is now into AI for a bit there. Not too sure what that was about. But Dan has close up right on the back now, 3 tenths it is. So he needs to get past as soon as possible for him to pull away.
There'll be DRS available to him now.
Be close enough down into turn 1. I don't think he is, he's just taking mind, waiting for the big straight.
Now, a high point in this race, less than 5 laps to go, and we still have a fight on for this win. Is Gary going to be able to interrupt this fight? We're just going to have to wait and see. Killer is so consistently strong through turn 5, but is it going to be enough this time? Dan's got good closing speed now, for the lead now, to the inside, into turn 7, breaks much later. He's got his nose in front, but he might run wide, and now they're going to be wheel to wheel. Dan in turn 8 there, Killer has his nose in front. Dan tries to stick it at the inside of the Ferrari, breaks a bit of oversteer, and here comes Gary now, to the inside of turn 9. It's going to help out Killer Blue's chances there. He goes to the inside, doesn't follow through with it there, but Killer Blue now has a little bit of a gap. Dan had a very strong attempt at the lead, but couldn't quite get it. Killer Blue still has your race lead.
And further back is Cookie on the back of Super Gamer. Towards the inside he goes, and I think he has the move completed. Into P9 he goes.
Cookie doing his level best to get as much as he can out of the race, but it may just be too little too late to get a good haul of points, and it's Dan and Gary that are going to be picking up the bacon here, because Gary still looks like he's on for a good podium, and Dan, of course, a very strong chance against a car with older tyres in front of him at trying to snatch away the race win. We've got just over 4 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen, so it's going to reach a high point now. Can Killer Blue hold it? He's driven such a perfect race, and Dan has been there the whole time, chasing him down all the way. Of course, if they come to blows, Gary can still win this. 4 to go, and we still have 3 cars with NDRS. Anything can happen in Grand Prix racing, and it usually does. Ferrari, Mercedes and Racing Point make up your top 3. Killer Blue still leads, but Dan right behind him.
Yeah, and let's see, Dan not looking too close this time, but let's see, can he pull back with the DRS? And looks like Dan does have a good exit out of turn 5. Down 6 and now into 7. Is he close enough? I don't think he is. Turns DRS down and stays behind.
Killer Blue.
Dylan getting past Nico there. Easily move on the straight.
Now, Killer Blue does have a very slight ERS advantage over Dan. Gary is in a better position relative to the front too. But of course, with that penalty and being the last of the cars on track, it is still a mountain for him to climb. maybe the top two will pick up penalties, you never know. As I believe further back, you had Mark cruising past Super Gamer through in the turn 7 and 8. He gets that moved up, but his top two are closer than ever. Going into turn 14, look at XCI Dan then. It's been so long since he's won a race, and now this is probably the best chance he's had in the entire second half of the season then. He sits on the rear wing of Killer Blue then with fresher tyres. He's just got one more thing to do, and that's to complete the overtake there. We've got just over 3 laps to go. Can he do it?
And he's looking to be very quick, but he needs to time it right. As he's 2 tenths behind, he's right on the back of the Ferrari. Is he going to try to run towards turn 1? Killer Blue gets a better run. And does look like he's going to hold on for now. As White Y and B Morgan exchange position. B Morgan making a bit of a mistake. Let's go back on the action at the top. We see XCI Dan still on the back of the Ferrari.
Can he complete it? He'll only have 3 more chances down this straight. He's close, but he's run wide. He makes a mistake, and that could set him back then. Gary is right there with him, though. Can he spring a surprise? Dan now, he's quick down these straights. Again, he closes down Killer Blue, but that slight error through turn 5. Not quite close enough. He runs wide again, and it's not going to give Gary a chance there. Towards turn 8, Dan has to defend the inside line then from the racing point. And again, gets oversteer though. Carmento's out. I think we're too deep. I think we're too deep in the race to have a safety car. But Dan, a couple of errors. Does Killer Blue have enough of a gap now? Can Dan bridge it? 2.5 to go then in the Singapore Grand Prix. For being Singapore, I have to say, it has been yet another corker of a race, and it may not be over just yet. Killer still holds the lead. Dan is still making a few mistakes, so that's giving Killer that maybe the gap he needs. He'll still have 2 more chances though down the back straight then to try and get it done. It could come down to the last lap for all we know then. What a fight for the lead we're being treated to here.
Yeah, and let's see how that plays out, because it's been a thrilling race so far. Dan is now 5 tenths away from the Ferrari. Is he close enough for the last couple laps? And he needs to close up a bit more to actually go for a move very soon. So he is now a bit closer. Let's see, it all comes down to that long Raffles Boulevard straight, so let's see, he closes up of course here down into turn 1 with that DRS. Let's see how it is.
Through turn 3 then with a 30th time, let a bit of oversteer for XCI Dan, but if he gets a good run through turn 5 he may still have a chance then. Look at all these guys are fine on fuel, there's no indicators there. Dan's flirting with it just a little bit, but he's closer to Killer Blue this time round then. Towards Memorial Corner, Killer Blue knows the threat, covers the inside line. Dan to the outside of turn 7, breaks much later again, gets alongside him again. Squeezed by Killer Blue, but he's still got the inside line. Can he commit to it on the brakes? He's further alongside this time, but Killer still holds your race lead. What defence from Killer Blue, fending off everything XCI Dan can throw at him there. Lap and a half to go. Can he pull this off? A soft to hard strategy to win a race in Singapore. Is he going to fall at the final hurdle? There'll still be another lap to go, but every single attempt from Dan to wrestle the race lead has been shut off by Killer Blue then.
Yeah, and it's looking like Dan really has to pull something out of the back and from far away to actually get something done here on the Ferrari. But let's see if he can do it.
Just maybe just be cautious there. Check one last time at the penalties, because I do hope that it's all even between these guys there, because the tension right now could not be much higher. Just have a quick look at that.
Yeah, it's both guys though at the top on 2 warnings, so they can't afford to make a mistake on the last lap. And Dan now going into the final lap. He's
much
close
closer
to the back.
Runs.
But is he going to try it down into turn 1? He's
closing fast. He's going to the inside. Can he get it done? XCI Dan for the lead on the final lap, and through goes the Mercedes. Finally does it. Does Killer Blue have a response? He's still got a chance down towards turn 7 there. Dan will be desperate. He has the fresher tyres. Can he get the most out of them there? Now, Killer, he may have just lost it there after such an incredible defence of that race lead, but Dan is clear, I think. He's just got to try and not make a mistake, not get a penalty, and the win could be his. Killer is going to be absolutely furious. Maybe desperation kicking in for Ferrari, but Dan pulls it when he least expected it at turn 1, and that brilliant piece of racecraft from the Dutchman may have just seen through his victory here.
It does look like it has. It's a couple of lag there on board with Gary. It was no on-track battles I see anymore, really. And I think Dan might have this.
Ooh, the gap, 6.5 tenths with 1 sector to go. He must be so nervous at the wheel. It's not been a great run in the last few races. And of course, the one time he's had the pace to challenge the front runners, he may be on for a race win. Let's not jinx it there. He's still got to stay clean then and stay off the barriers through the final sector. They have thrown everything at Dan. Keller has given him such a good race. Gary as well. Hats off to all three of them. But XCI Dan navigating these last few turns now. He's just got one more corner to negotiate. Glides it through. XCI Dan finally on the top step of the podium once again. What a race here in Singapore. Dan on the final lap clears Killer Blue, wins it by a second. That was just unbelievable.
Yeah, and it's Gary picking up P3, Whitewall in P4, B Morgan in 5th, Nico in 6th, then it's Rick in 7th place for now, Cookie in 8th, Dylan in 9th, and then it's waiting on Mark here coming across the line in P10. And crashes as he has a 5-second time penalty unserved, and he'll lose out to Super Game, which is there. And then we just wait for Harry Noir, who will might take the final point here, but Daniel, don't know, because Harry Noir has a few penalties as he's run out of fuel. Harry Noir.
And Daniel's crashed as well. His
So,
turn 19.
Oh, great stuff then. But I think Harry Noir will keep that last spot. Daniel's also coming across the line without fuel basically, and comes on P13. Now we're just waiting, I think, on Maledictus. Waiting since Ghost's car comes across. Yes, Maledictus. I don't know what's going on. He's quite slow at the moment. He's just coming through the gears. Giving the rest down.
Oh, he's back up to hot lap. And just glides it round the final turn basically. Does a little bit of sliding to end us off. Wow. That might be the best conclusion to a race we've actually seen this season besides maybe Silverstone. That was spectacular. What a fight for the win we had. And I tell you what, I feel for Killer Blue. So I know he's already got his race win this season, but he just, the defense of his race lead was just stunning there. I was amazed that he held that for so long, and without the safety car, you have to say, he probably would have won that.
He could have, definitely. He had a bit of help from his teammate, but great team orders in that case from the Ferraris there. They've done it quite well, and unfortunately for Killer Blue, he just loses out to Dan in the final lap down to turn 1.
It's a sweet move, to be fair, from Dan. You have to give him all the credit. Didn't make any mistakes. Held through when McCrew and Gary, they had their incidents, they were in front of him. Eventually got his clear run at Killer, and eventually, after several attempts, took his chance. XCI Dan is your race winner for round 14. He beats it just in front of Killer Blue. What a race those guys could put up. Gary Donegan will be pleased with third. Another step towards the championship versus Cookie, but Dan, of course, may work his way back in. Watch why he gets a solid 4th place then. From Morgan 5th, Nico 6th, Rick 7th, Cookie 8th, Dylan 9th, and Super Gamer rounds out the top 10 then. From Mark in 11th, Harry, the final point score, into P12. Daniel takes 13th there. Oysen and Maledictus your final finisher. Carmentalus, Matty, Maurice and McCrew were unable to make the checkered flag. Woo!
And of course Jekyll unfortunately couldn't make it all.
Yeah, that's highly unlucky for the McLaren. Completely out of his control. But anyway, whew, I was surprised. I thought this might be the end of the run of great races in D2. I was wrong. I was very, very wrong. What a conclusion. Race decided on the final lap of 31. Well done D2 once again. And yet another stunner. And of course then, Gary keeps himself afloat then at the top of the standings. Dan is not out of this yet, and Cookie has a great run of form. You never know, but Gary still has the advantage for now. And after that, yet another amazing race in D2, we're going to wrap this one up then. And yeah, so I've been Daka, he's been Verstappen, and until next week, we'll see you later.